Here visiting with you because you ask us to come. You ask us to come, and our greatest value to you is we'll help you focus on what you want, but you have to do the work. As we're visiting here together today, we'll talk about who you are, and we will express from our perspective of who you are, until you will begin to vibrate as you really are. You really will. You really are. So as you are vibrating in alliance, in allowance, in harmony with who you really are, when you have a thought that's crossways of it, you'll really know it. That's why we and many teachers encourage meditation, because when you meditate, you quiet your mind. When you quiet your mind, you stop thought. When you stop thought, you stop resistance. When you stop resistance, you align with the fullness of that which you are. And if you do it pretty consistently, when you're out of whack with who you are, you feel it in a stronger way. If you're out of whack regularly, then you don't notice it. Then it feels normal. The people who aren't out of whack look weird to you. That person is far too happy for their own good. That person is delusional. That person is not facing reality. And we say, that's what we teach. Never face reality. Because you are the creator of reality. You're the creator. Don't face what is, choose what's better and focus upon that. And hold yourself in the vibrational stance that the better keeps coming to you. So we just want to say to you, we're going to be saying it a lot, that whatever you're focused upon has you establishing a grid. And the longer you focus upon it, the more established that grid becomes. So you could have, for example, a grid that you come easily to relative to finances. In other words, every subject is two subjects, what is wanted and absence of what is wanted. And sometimes you think that you're focused completely upon the financial well-being that you want, but when you're noticing what you can't do with the money you don't have, that's not the end of the stick that you're focused upon. So without even meaning to, you're establishing a grid, a vibrational basis that says, I don't have enough money. In fact, I hardly know anybody who has enough money. In fact, there's a big injustice in this world today about not enough money. And you get a grid like that going, and law of attraction will bring you evidence of that until you'll say, well, it's true. I wouldn't be saying it if it were not true. And we say, it is your attention to it that makes it true for you, you see. And that's a hard thing, because you're running around, you're in individual bodies, you're sitting on individual clumps, on individual chairs, and you don't realize how interconnected you are with one another. But when you give your attention to what masses are doing, when you give your attention to what a political party is doing or what a religion is doing, when you give your attention to anything, in doing so, you establish a vibrational pattern which becomes your point of attraction. And all of that is a wonderful thing. It's part of why you came into this time-space reality. You want to take thought beyond that which it has been before, and you want to be joyful in the process of it. But so many of our human friends have forgotten, it seems, that there is a standard within them that will help them to know. It is a guidance system that is unequivocally accurate at all times. There's a guidance system within you that will help you to know in any moment of any day, whenever you are focused upon anything, how that focus, how that attention, how that perspective, how that opinion, how that belief meshes with the whole of who you are and what you really want. And you can tell by the way you feel. Once you get the hang of this, you're going to start caring about how you feel. You're going to begin to care about how you feel enough that you're going to be able to let how you feel guide you incrementally to more habits of thought which establish more grids that are more in alignment with who you are. We want you today and forevermore, which is forever, you're eternal beings, to focus upon your point of attraction. Your point of attraction. And by that we mean, let's clarify it, your point of manifestation. Now your point of attraction has already occurred. You sifted and declared, you sifted the contrast and came to conclusions. You launched these rockets and they exist. You have created a vibrational reality. You have. But you want, it's the reason you're here in these bodies, you want the manifested version of it. You don't want a virtual lover. We know you don't. You don't want virtual money. You want the spendable kind. And so the way it moves from that vibrational place into your manifested experience where you can explore the deliciousness of it, the specifics of it, and where maybe even others who are sharing your time-space reality may witness your creation of it. In order to do that, you have to take personal, deliberate control of your grid, of your point of attraction. So as we use the word grid today, and we will, a lot, what we're talking about is your point of attraction. And your point of attraction is happening all the time, whether you know that it is or not. In other words, whatever you've been giving your attention to, you've offered a vibration about, and as you offer a vibration about it, law of attraction makes it easier to offer more vibrations about it. A belief is just a thought you keep thinking. And the beliefs that you hold make up the grid that you've got going on. Now we want to call your attention to this non-physical part of you, this source energy part of you, because that source energy part of you has a grid going on too. And the goal, what you really want, what you want to do in any moment in time, is to focus in such a way that causes you to offer a vibrational output which causes you to create a point of attraction which we are calling your grid, a grid that lines up with the grid of the source within you. And when all of that energy is flowing right up from the core of who you are, now you have power. Now you have clarity. Now you are frisky. Now you are tuned in, tapped in, turned on. Now you have vitality. Now you have clarity. Now you have all of those things. And the most important thing is that in that alignment with all that you are, your point of attraction, the evidence of it is wonderful to behold. Because when you click in with all of those things that you've been putting into your vortex, then in a meaningful, comfortable, logical, sequential, path of least resistance way, everything that you want to its smallest detail flows into your experience in what you experience as the next logical step. It's just the next logical step. Not something that you're going nuts about. It's the next logical step. If you're in the vibrational vicinity of who you really are, then the next logical step is for it to manifest. And we want to appeal to your logic, and then we're going to throw it open for you to talk about whatever you want to talk about. But we want to appeal to your logic about your grid and about the movement of all that you've been gathering, that has been assembled, and that the cooperative components are already gathered around, about the movement of all of this wonderful stuff that you've created flowing into your manifested experience. We want to remind you that you don't want to eat all of the food that you will eat in this lifetime today. You want to eat some of it today, but you want it to come incrementally so that you can savor it and enjoy it, yes? And the same with the contents of your vortex. You don't want it all today. You think you do. Especially those things that you're standing in conscious awareness of the absence of. Oh, Abraham, I'll just take this and this and this and this and this today. And we say, it's coming. It's coming at the speed and in the frequency and in the path of least resistance, in complete and utter and only response to your vibrational tending to your grid, to your point of attraction. We think you've got it. It doesn't matter how you're doing vibrationally in relationship to your neighbor or to your mother or to your past. It doesn't matter how you're doing vibrationally in relationship to what the polls say, or to what peer group pressure says, or to what the rules, religious and secular, say. The only thing that matters is your vibrational relationship to your furthest, most expanded beingness, which means your relationship to what man wants to call God. We prefer to say your relationship to the larger part of you, to your inner being, to the source within you, to the expanded you that's in your vortex. Your opinions about the world in which you live cause you to practice a vibration that equals your point of attraction. So what that does, and it's sort of an interesting thing to watch it happen, is you just keep supporting your own beliefs because law of attraction backs that up every time. If you believe that you are being treated unjustly, and you keep that vibration active within you, those that match that belief in you will flock to you like moths to a flame. And you will announce to the world, this is an unjust world, or I am a victim because look at this train of stuff that is coming to me. But when you accept that it is a vibrational world, not a stuff world, that it is a vibrational world, just not a manifested world, that it is a vibrational world, and that in every moment you can read, you can recognize, you can know your vibrational offering as it relates to your most expanded being, that part that we talked about as we first began here, that expanded you that you can't hold back. When you start caring about alignment with that, rather than that. I care about how I feel, period. I care about how I feel, which means I'm going to choose the thought that most replicates the thought that the source within me is thinking about the thing that I'm thinking about in the moment that I'm thinking about it. You get that? You're thinking a thought. You're thinking a thought unless you're asleep. You're thinking a thought. Your mind is active, your point of attraction is active, and you have the option of moving your point of attraction closer to all that you are and all that you want, or further from all that you are and all that you want. You have that option in every moment, but you don't exercise it because you're observing rather than sensing vibration most of the time. So for most of you, we love you so much. You don't really start thinking about something until you have a manifestation that you don't like, and then you know what you think about? The manifestation you don't like. It's hard for you to think about the flip side of something that you don't like. There has never been a conversation that has been more satisfying than the one that we've had today. In other words, taking thought beyond that which it has been before. And it is satisfying to us to see so many of you willing to listen and try to feel the vibrational resonance that speaks to the validity of the laws, and then to deliberately apply them to the specifics of your desire, which is the only way that you can know anything. In other words, words don't teach. You just have to find the resonance and then apply it and then watch the results. That's why manifestation matters so much. So when we say ask and it is given, we mean, of course you will ask, and of course we will find the vibrational place of it. And of course, if you want to, you can line up with it. But then it just begins to be fun. Because then, as the grid begins to fill in with the manifestations, with the evidence, with the proof of your goodness, the proof of your focus, the proof of your alignment, the proof of your our togetherness, the proof of the expansion, the proof of the eternalness, the proof of the joy of life. In other words, it's all that all of us revel in from the non-physical perspective. Physical humans, for the most part, don't realize the important role that they play in expansion. Still, as many of you have been listening to us, you still think, for the most part, as humans, the source has got it figured out, and somehow you are trying to rise to the level of that figuring it out. When what has actually happened is you have carved it out and you have asked for more. And source has easily aligned with it, and now source is calling you home to that alignment. Okay, quite a different thing. So you've got this magnificent guidance system within you that is available to you all day, every day, letting you know what your vibrational habit is in relationship to what you want. So Esther, she was thinking about this during the flight. She realizes that her attention to what is, valid as it is, and justifies as it is, when she sends an email to those people, they take it seriously. When she calls them and tells her something isn't working, they want it to work. They recognize the importance of things being right, that they have purchased, that they have wanted. But there is something more for Esther to know, for all of you to know, beyond calling the repairman, or beyond finding the physical action fix. It is a vibrational fix. It is tending to your own grid. And when you